Hello students, hope you all are fine. Today we are going to discuss the introduction to economics and what is positive and normative science. So after going to view this video, you will get an overview about what economics is all about. So in this video we discuss we and economics, the introduction part, what is the need to study economics, what is positive and normative economics, what is the subject matter of economics, and what is the difference between micro as well as macroeconomics. So first we will start with we and economics. Economics are in our surroundings. So think of your day-to-day activities. We all go to a market to buy various products where we interact with sellers who sell us the products. Have you ever thought of what goes in the mind of purchaser when he or she is purchasing something? Suppose you are a buyer and you go to market to buy a product, anything. ठीक है, and you must consider various factors before coming into the conclusion of purchasing a product. Either you consider price of the product, the quality, the usefulness of the product. Is it worth for money? If you spending rupees 20 rupees on a lays or a chips, is it worth for the money? Or is or her preferences, like your taste? If you want to like uncle chips, that is your preference, that is your taste, so you don't want to buy a lays which is a substitute for uncle chips. Similarly, let us think about the behavior of a seller. What a seller thinks while making selling decisions. First, what and how much should they sell, and what should be the selling price after considering into the cost factor, and where to sell, like it at what location they establish their businesses. So another factor is how many sellers exist in the market, or like what other competitors are there in the market, and how useful is his product for the consumers. So these are the factors which the seller considers. So we can conclude that in both the above examples, we are concerned about the human behavior. That is how human beings as individuals or as a group behave under different situations, having different motives and resources. So we can broadly say that economics is a study of human behavior. So what is the definition of economics? Economics is a branch of social science which primarily focus on various ways of maximum satisfaction. Various ways of maximum satisfaction means economics tells us like how to take decision rationally and logically within limited scarce resources or within a limited income to fulfill your unlimited wants so that you can get maximum satisfaction out of it, and enhancing welfare both at individual level and society level. It also provides us a framework to take various decisions rationally and logically in the face of unlimited wants and limited endowment of resources. So there is one another definition by Robbins, like economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends. Here ends means needs of the individuals, and scarce means which have alternative uses. Scarce means scarce resources which have many uses or alternative uses. Suppose if I give an example of a land. Land is a scarce resource which can be used for either for farming, either for building, or either for industry. So there are so many alternatives available for a land. So another definition is in the words of Samuelson. Economics is the study of how man and society choose, with or without use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which could have alternative uses to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in future among various people and groups of society. You can write on definition, that one is based by Robbins. So now the topic is, what is the need for economics? As I already told to you, the resources are scarce and our wants are unlimited. So economics provide us the solution, like how you get maximum satisfaction within a limited scarce resources to fulfill your unlimited wants, so that you can get maximum satisfaction out of it. So let us discuss. A unique feature of human behavior is never ending or unlimited wants. So the fulfillment of these wants or needs resources such as money, natural resources, etc. So however, these resources are always scarce in relation to unlimited human wants. Like, resources are always scarce but which have alternative uses. For example, if you have 40,000 rupees, a consumer can either purchase a TV or a laptop, and thus they faces the constraint of limited availability of money here because they have only 40,000 rupees. Similarly, producer faces the limited availability of resources for making production decisions also. So the basic concern of economics is to allocate the scarce resources to the best possible use in the unlimited want, so that you can get maximum satisfaction. So the need of economics stems from the basic problem of scarcity. That is, we can say, the universal problem of every country, that is a scarcity of resources and choice. So every society is endowed with limited resources that can be used to enhance the welfare and development of a society as a whole. So economics is about how an individual or a particular society makes these decisions regarding choices. So it provides us with a basic framework which assists a particular society to make decisions by assessing cost and benefits of a particular decisions. So this is all about what is the need for economics. Let's move further. What is positive and normative economics? Till now, we know that the basic economic problem exists because of the problem of scarcity of resources and parallelly are unlimited wants. So there may be different alternative solutions also to solve a particular economic problem. These different alternatives may lead to different allocation of available resources and also lead to different distribution pattern of final output also. So whenever we try to understand and solve an economic problem such as poverty, unemployment, we often come across various statements or suggestions which may or may not be subject to verification. So depending on the nature of statements, whether these statements can be verified or not, the statement can be classified into two following categories. One is positive statement, second is normative statement. So what is positive statement? Positive statements are the factual statements that describe what was, what is, and what would be. So these statements can be tested, proven, or disproven. These statements do not involve any personal value judgment. For example, if one says that it is a raining outside, then the truth of this statement can be checked by going outside. Normative statement describes what should be or what ought to be. So these statements cannot be tested and verified. Unlike positive statements, normative statements involve personal value judgments. So usually these statements are debatable in nature. For example, if one say that she prefers tea over coffee, then such statement reflect her personal choice, idea, preferences. It cannot be proven or disproven. If I am saying the child is crying every time when raining is outside, so there is a no correlation between the children's crying and the raining outside. It cannot be tested and verified. It can be based on the value judgment maybe of our parents, like children is crying due to they are afraid of raining. So this might be reason but not exactly. There may other reasons also. So these statements cannot be tested or verified. These are called normative statements. So it can be said that while the positive statements are objective statements and normative statements are subjective statements. So let us take a look between difference between these two. So positive economics deals with factual situations, factual data that can be tested or verified, that describe the actual situation of what was, what is, and what would be, that describe only what is actual statement. And normative economics deals with the ideal situations of what should be and what ought to be. And in positive economics, it does not involve any personal value judgment, but in normative economics, it involves personal value judgments. In positive economics, situations and descriptions can be verified, but in normative economics, such situations and descriptions cannot be verified and are simply debatable in nature. If I look at the example, if I say what is the rate of inflation at present, you can check over the internet, it is 4%. If what should be the ideal rate of inflation, there is a कोई as rule of thumb नहीं है, तो that is called normative economics. ठीक है. Next topic is what is the subject matter of economics. There are basically two core branches of economics. One is micro and another one is macro. So these two subdivision came into existence only after 1930 as per the suggestion by Ragnar Frisch. So microeconomics deals with the individuals, or we can say individual economic units, basically consumer and firms. They interact in the market of different goods and services. So in micro we study how consumer make their consumption choices and decisions given their money income and prices of goods and services. We analyze how the firm decide how much to produce and by different input combinations. In this, we also study how prices are determined in both commodity market as well as in the factor market based on the demand and supply analysis. So, in other words, macroeconomics is a study that basically focus on behavior of individual consumers and producers. It is also called price theory as it primarily focuses on how prices are determined both in the commodity market and factor market. So microeconomics is a microscopic extension of macroeconomics. So in further chapters we are going to discuss consumer behavior, producer behavior, price determination under different market conditions. Factor pricing and welfare economics are not in your syllabus. Second one is macroeconomics. Macroeconomics deals with the aggregate in totality or as a whole. So in microeconomics we study how an economy as a whole operates. It focuses on the aggregate measure such as aggregate demand as comparison to individual demand, which is in micro, and aggregate supply, aggregate price level. It also study how these variables are determined and how they change over time. So it helps in understanding various economic relationships and economic problems at the economy or aggregate level. So it is also known as theory of income and employment as its main focus is on how income and employment levels are determined. So, in macroeconomics, we confront major problems such as poverty, unemployment, inflation, balance of payment disequilibrium. So, in this, the following are important macroeconomics theories which we discussed in grade 12. That is theory of national income, theory of employment, theory of money, general price level, international trade, theory of economic growth. So what is the difference between macro and macro? Micro deals with individuals like household, farms, consumers, but macro deals with the economy as a whole. Micro deals with how consumers or producers make their decisions depending on their given budget and variables. But macroeconomics deals with how different economic sectors such as household, industries, government, and foreign sector make their decisions. Micro uses the method of partial equilibrium, that is equilibrium in one market. But macro uses the method of general equilibrium, that is general equilibrium in all markets of an economy as a whole. So the major microeconomic variables are price, individual consumer demand, wages, rent, profit, revenue, and in macro, that is aggregate price, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, inflation, unemployment. So various theories are in relation to this. Like in micro, you are studying consumer behavior and demand, producer behavior and supply, price determination, factor pricing, welfare economics, and in macro, national income, theory of money, theory of general price level, theory of employment, and theory of international trade, which is prevailing at the economy level.